Politico had a lengthy expose on Jerry Falwell Jr. and the Liberty University organization that he runs. And the expose talked about the deep grifting that takes place at Liberty University and how the organization is used, based on interviews, by the way, with current university officials. It's being used as a way of taking tuition money to fund the lavish lifestyle and the real estate investments of the Falwells. Now, this is a story that Politico has been focusing on for some time now. There was a piece earlier this year that went into some of these details, but I'm gonna give you a more comprehensive look at what's happening at Liberty University. Now, these interviews took place over 8 months, and they depicted how Falwell and his wife, Becky, consolidated power, which meant kind of brushing his own brother off in order to consolidate his own power. And he has created this culture of self-dealing. One of the former high-level employees at Liberty University said, quote, "It's a dictatorship. Nobody craps at the university without Jerry's approval." One other individual said, "Everybody is scared for their life. Everybody walks around in fear." This is a current university official saying this. And apparently, Falwell is monitoring all of their communications. This particular person had to get a burner phone in order to participate in this Politico interview. Now, Falwell has done some of this self-dealing by hiring additional members of his own family. According to Politico, Falwell hired his own son and his son's company to manage a shopping center owned by the university. And he also advocated for loans given by the university to his friends and awarded university contracts to businesses owned by his friends. Sometimes those loans go sour. The individuals that they give the loans to don't pay back. So Falwell has kind of just chalked that up to a bad investment, but let me give you more. A senior Liberty University official tells Politico, quote, "We're not a school, we're a real estate hedge fund. We're not educating, we're buying real estate every year and taking students' money to do it." Now, just keep in mind that Falwell Jr. is a giant Trump supporter, and Donald Trump ran a scam university, Trump University, and had to pay tens of millions of dollars in a settlement as a result of defrauding students. I have more details, but I want to get your thoughts.
I'm not surprised by this. I mean, people say this all the time, the business of religion, and when you uncover the business of religion, what's at the core of it, this sort of behavior. Reading that was super enlightening, Anna, because not only did these employees were afraid to talk, there was people that were far removed from Liberty University, that in the town outside of the walls of that establishment, that were afraid to talk.
Right.
That was eye-opening to me. And also them highlighting Becky as being the real, having the real juice.
Right.
And all of that. That was like, whoa, really?
So the way this piece describes her is reserved and quiet when Jerry Falwell Sr. was still around, but he passes away, and all of a sudden there's this vacuum. There's this position of power that needs to be filled. And so it's really between Jerry Falwell Jr. and his brother. And Becky gets involved and slowly but surely starts pushing him out. And so Falwell Jr. has really consolidated his power and solidified his power within Liberty University, and he is using it for his own self-dealing. Not only that, he's also getting involved in some unsavory behavior, including going to clubs and things like that in Miami. And then he has fix-it people taking care of the bad press that follows. So university officials describe Liberty loaning money to Falwell's friends, even when these loans arguably are not in the school's financial interests. The university gave loans of at least $200,000 to Prototype Tourism LLC, a destination marketing company founded by Liberty graduate Josh Oppenheimer, whom Falwell Jr. described as a friendly supporter. Now that deal went south and he was unable to pay back that loan, but there are other examples. For instance, in 2013, Robert Moon, a friend of Falwell's with deep family ties to the Falwell family, founded Construction Management Associates, Inc., a construction company devoted to work on and around campus. Liberty gave Moon a loan of $750,000 to form the company before awarding it more than $130 million in contracts and selling it land owned by the university. So this university is essentially a front. It's a way of taking tuition money from these students to invest in various deals, real estate, and the like.
I love that you mentioned Trump University, because this is the same. You could take out Falwell Jr. and put in Trump's name, and it would be the same scam. I don't need. This is a private university, right? So I don't know that he's not allowed to do this. It's dishonest, but it's a private university. So if you give them money, they can spend the money the way they want. And even that last thing you said, that's what they did with the power. If you remember with Puerto Rico, they awarded these contracts to a little electric company somewhere in Montana that had never done a job like this, and they wanted to prop up the whole thing, and then they got caught. They were Trump supporters. They were gonna get these multi-million-dollar contracts, just like what he said they're doing here. The $200,000 to his friend in Miami, maybe that's a cover-up payment. Maybe that company pays for some kind of party boat. I mean, who knows where this money goes? And what you said about the neighborhood, people in the town being scared, of course, because this is the economic engine of the town.
Yeah.
Everybody works there or is somehow connected there. Yeah, it's corrupt. I don't know that they can do anything about it.
So let me
now
jump
that people
in
know
quickly.
about it.
So this is a nonprofit organization. So this is different from, let's say, the DeVrys of the world, which are for-profit colleges. For-profit colleges literally have a board of investors, and it works differently. With a nonprofit organization, things are, the money that you raise through tuition is supposed to go back to the university and help fund education, salaries, whatever it is in the school. But what we're seeing here, based on the interviews of current and former university officials, is they're taking this tuition money and they're spending it on things that they shouldn't be spending it on.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.